Hello, it's Layla here. Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time watching any of my videos, welcome. In today's video, we are going to be talking about a very sensitive topic. I really wish this topic wasn't as sensitive as it is, but it is. We are going to be tackling depression, anxiety, the overall mental health, and how these can actually be connected to PCOS. Everything I'm going to be talking about today is based on my own personal experiences and my own personal research. I wish that we could live in a world where it's normal to talk about mental health. We as a society need to find a way to normalize talking about mental health. It's time. It's time. Mental health can happen to anyone. It can happen to you and it can happen to me. Mental health can affect our well-being physically, mentally, and definitely psychologically. Women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, are more likely to experience anxiety and depression. Studies show that at least 20% to about 50% of women with PCOS report having depression rather than women without PCOS. A few things we could do as a society to reach out to our family and friends that might be going through mental health issues would be to start maybe by asking them if they're okay. Ask questions that you mean. Are you thinking about suicide? I've noticed that, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to take a walk? How are you really? Really. Just be able to get into conversations that are uncomfortable, but slowly ease into that so that it's easier for the other person to gain that trust, for them to be able to open up to you, and then you will be able to kind of guide them in order to be able to find the help that they need. Depression can affect how we feel, how we think, how we react to certain situations, and how we handle stress. I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you this. I've been in a situation where I was able to identify that someone was going through a dark period that was leading them to depression, or they actually had signs and symptoms of depression, and I couldn't do anything about it. Well, maybe not that I couldn't do anything about it, I didn't do anything about it, and I could have done something about it. We all can do something about it if we all just normalize talking about it. Trust your gut if you think someone is having a hard time, and speak to them privately. Start with an expression of care, followed by a very sincere conversation. But in Africa, people don't really admit in having any kind of mental health illness. Not everyone, most people, they don't want to admit that, because having depression, having mental health in South Africa can be labeled, if a person has mental health or depression, they can be labeled as uyahlanya, ugula ngengqondo. So people would rather go through depression alone because they don't want to be shamed, they don't want to talk about it. And I feel like if we normalize talking about this, there would be no shame. There would be no shame for people to ask for help when they need it. There would be no shame for people that see that you're going through it to be able to approach you so you can talk about it. We live in a society where we haven't realized that mental health is part of the overall health. I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and sometimes when the symptoms hit me hard, it messes up with my head. I go through so much emotions. Sometimes I don't even understand. I remember there was a time we lived in Europe. I went through the most severe, intense PCOS symptoms that were all at the same time, and it was a period of 3 months straight, just miserable, 3 months straight. I was going through a lot. I'm talking acne, hair loss, not being able to sleep at night. I'm always tired, just unmotivated, And, we had a really nice villa with the fruit trees in the backyard. Everything was so nice. But I was going through this and it was just hard. It was very hard to go through this. I remember one day waking up during, I had taken a nap. I remember waking up looking around me and realizing like, oh my goodness, right now, right this second, I'm going through something and I'm alone. I'm in this huge house and I'm alone. When hubby got home that day, I said, listen, I'm going through something. I don't like it. I'm sick and we need to move. So he's like, okay, so explain this. You're sick and we need to move. I was like, yes, you got it. You see, the thing is, I wanted to move. I needed to move into a community. I wanted to move into a place where there'll be people. I needed human interaction. I needed to talk to somebody. I wanted to be in a situation where I'm actually forced to say, hi, neighbor. You know, because I come from South Africa, where I come from. It's very normal for your neighbor to come over your house. Like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, I was making some tea, you know. And now I realize that I don't have tea bags or I don't have enough sugar. And I'll be like, oh, just grab right there in the cupboard, in the cabinet or something. And they even actually know which cabinet I'm talking about. It's so normal. But we, you know, sometimes these private lives that we like can actually leave us feeling so lonely. So, did we move? No. Did I get better? No, I did not get better. Unfortunately, it actually got worse. I kept getting sick. It kept getting worse. My cycles were heavy and very irregular. It was just getting worse. So we had to find help. I needed to see a doctor and I had to get some blood work, and I got a very scary phone call back. The person on the other line was telling me, hey, your blood work is showing that you are on your way to being pre-diabetic. You're actually pre-diabetic if you don't change how you eat. So we went through like the phone call asking me what I eat. Do I exercise? Do I do this? Do I do this? That got me so scared that I knew right away after dropping that phone call, I needed to pull myself up from whatever that I was going through. I needed to pull through it and get myself out of the situation. It was not easy. I wouldn't have done it alone. We eventually moved into a community where I was able to have friends and neighbors. I started to speak up with my colleagues and I would ask them, hey, do you want to go to the gym with me? Hey, do you want to take a walk with me? Hey, do you want to run during lunch? And I started doing that and I started seeing those symptoms slowly go away. What I'm trying to say is that if you don't seek out for help, if you don't talk to people, there's no way for us to be able to understand what you're going through. That's why we need to normalize talking about uncomfortable topics, because so many people are going through so much. But it's not easy to go through a lot when you're not able to talk about it. And then depression kicks in, and then mental health kicks in, and then anxiety kicks in because of how we're reacting to these kind of situations. We are in this world to be happy. Happiness is free. You can create your own happiness. Happiness comes from within. If you feel unhappy, if you feel unmotivated, if you feel like you have depression, if you think you have anxiety or mental health, speak with your doctor so you can find the help that you need. Speak with your family and friends so you can find the help that you need. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.